we will also click on this. We will call it, for right now, my documents, 102. What day is today? 5/28/2014. I better put math in front of this. Okay, screen recorder error, that's good. Let's try that again. It's one of those days. There we go. Sorry. Okay, now we're cooking with peanut oil. Okay. Now, first questions we have, well, we'll go over homework questions first, because we've got several to go over. Ask my instructor. I don't know if we went over these or not. Let's just look at this one. This is 5.613/4. Let's look at it and see if we've already done it. Yeah, we did 4x4s, I think. Now, Ms. Black, is that okay? Do you know how to do this one, or did we go over this one, or you want me to go over it?
I think we went over that one.
Okay,
One that I-
well, please let me know, because we've got a bunch to go over. Let's do another one. Just lost mine. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna delete that one. Okay, the next one is 5.617/29. 17/29. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. First, factor out common term. What's the indicator here to get rid of to factor out the common term? Well, you cannot do the reverse FOIL unless the last term is a number. Okay, so in this case, the little flag that tells you what to do is right here. And it says factor out a common term, because you can't do the reverse FOIL if this has an x beside it, or an x squared, or an x to the fourth. So it is a trinomial, so that rules out four-term factoring. So you're going to use the reverse FOIL, but first you have to factor out common term. And when we do that, we always factor out the lowest exponent. And I think 3 will go into all of these. I don't think 9 will. Somebody help me out. 3? 3, and then x to the first. And now we divide everything out. 9 divided by 3 is 3. X to the third divided by x to the first. Well, that's 3 minus 1 is 2. Plus 39 divided by 3 is 13. 2 minus 1 is 1. And I'm going to put a 1 there just so you'll know what's going on. And then 30 divided by 3 is 10. And x divided by x is 1. 1 times 10 is 10. So now we have that trinomial, and we're going to try to factor it. 2 sets of parentheses. And this is a prime number, a prime term, so you can't mess that up. 1x and what? 3x. Now we need to break up the 10 into 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Now, this is trial and error, so we're going to I'm going to go with the 1 and the 10. I'm going to put a 1 here and a 10 here. Outside and inside. Well, 10 and 3 will give us a 13, but the problem is what? We got an unlike term here, so that's not going to help us. You can have, that means a positive, so that means this has to be a positive, and this has to be a negative because of this. So 10 minus 3 will not give you 13. So flip it around, that won't work. Why? If you flip the 10 and the 1 around, why will that not work? Be too big, because 3 times 10 is 30. So that'd be too big. So 10 and 1 is out. I'll take my handy dandy eraser and I erase the 10 and the 1. Okay? One thing. You have to excuse me for a second. I need to blow it up just a hair more. There. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time. So now you can try the 2 and the 5. I know you can't see through muddy water and stuff. I'm sorry. You can't see through muddy water in my back. Can't see. There you go. All right. So I'm going to put a 2 here and a 5 here. That'll give me a 5 and a 6. Well, 5 and 6 give me 13. Huh? No. So then I flip it. So I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to put a 5 here and a 2 here. That'll give me a 2 and a 15. Will a 2 and a 15 give me a 13?
Yes.
It's amazing. So let's go ahead and put that because it will give us a 13. So I'm going to put a 5 here and a 2 here. Now, this means that the biggest number has to be what? Positive. So what's bigger, 2x or 15x? 15x, Hubert. That's right, class. And then what does this mean? Like or unlike?
Unlike.
So that's nice. So your final answer is 3x times x plus 5 times 3x minus 2. And that's your final answer. And you feel good about yourself. Okay? And let's punch in a 3 here so y'all know at least I know what I'm doing. Well, there we go. And done. Check answer, done. Look at there. 3x times x plus 5 times 3x minus 2. It's a miracle. Alright, let's try nerd. I can get rid of this.
I met someone else that knows you.
Oh, no.
I did too.
Male or female?
Female.
Who?
Della Vanas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she
She's
was.
my Western Civ.
She was my Western Civ teacher.
Online is killing me though.
Yep.
Like I just.
She was my Western Civ teacher, and I had her back to back at night.
I'm so sorry.
I had
At
her
least you had
for.
in class.
I had her for Western Civ 1 and Western Civ 2. Western Civ 1 was from 6 to 8, Western Civ 2 was from 8 to 10. And I had to take them both back to back because I couldn't transfer any more credits into Clemson. And this was the last semester I could, and I had to transfer those 2 Western Civs in, so I took them back to back.
Well,
And I
at
love
least
it.
yours was in class because mine's online and that book bores me to tears.
Yeah, but I love the history, so I ate it up.
Good. If I need help, I know who to come.
No, I don't know about that. All right, let's try another one. This is the same one, so I'm gonna skip that one. We did that one. I think it did, didn't it? 1729, isn't that the same one? Okay, 5.6, 4111. 5.6, 4111. All right, this one is a 2-term polynomial. So chances are you're going to be using a shortcut here. I don't know. I have no idea. You're going to use factor out a common term. I'm going to use black. So 160 a squared m to the 4th minus 10a squared. Now let's factor out a common term. How do you know to factor out a common term? Again, this right here is not a perfect square. So this right here, flag here. When you just got 2 terms, you need to have some perfect squares because your shortcut number 3 is difference of 2 squares. So if you got 2 terms, you're going to be using shortcut number 3. And there's not perfect squares there. So you're going to have to factor out something to try to get some perfect squares. It may not work. You may not have to. You may just factor out a common term and that's it. So let's see what happens. What can you factor out both of these terms? Well, your lowest what? Lowest exponent. And then what else?
10.
A 10. So let's do that. 10a squared. Well, I'll do this for you. 16. And m to the what?
4.
Minus what?
1.
Oh my gosh! Look what we got. What is this? Difference of 2 squares. And then you can take the square root of the first term. And for those of you who don't know what difference of 2 terms is, it's shortcut number what? 3. The square root of the first term is 4m squared. Square root of the second term is 1. So that's a plus b. And a
Minus B.
minus b. And I think I have a video of the shortcuts, do I not?
Yes.
Okay, so for those people that are going, what are the shortcuts? You hadn't watched the videos, so you need to watch them.
Can't you break down 4M squared?
Oh yeah,
as one?
I meant to do that. Thank you. I was just checking to make sure y'all were awake. There is one more step, and that is this right here. So take your handy dandy highlighter. And this can be factored on even further using shortcut number 3 again. This is called a nested problem. A nested problem is when you have a shortcut or you have a property within a property, or you have 2 or 3 properties inside one problem. And this one, you can do shortcut number 3 again. And when we do that, take the square root of 4m squared, which is 2m, and the square root of 1, which is 1. So your final answer is 10a squared, 4m squared plus 1, times 2m plus 1, times 2m minus 1. And that is your final answer. Okay? And I think the only problem you have here is you didn't go that step right there further.
Yeah.
And that's probably what the answer will be. We'll type it in for those that say I'm wrong. Well, I guess I can go here and go 2m plus 1 and 2m minus 1 and check answer. It's probably wanting it.
That
in-
negative
Because it's
10.
negative 10.
Huh?
Take the negative off the 10.
Oh. Mrs. Love did that, I didn't do that. There we go.
Yay.
We got it right, another miracle. All right. And let's keep going, 'cause we got a lot to cover today. All right, we did, let's see, 5.4, I'm not going over that one yet. Delete that one, that's number 41. Okay, this is 43/12, 5.6, 43/12. 43/12. Okay, another 4-term polynomial. 4 terms, what do we do?
2 and 2.
Oh, I forgot to do something. When I do this, let's see, I need to, a squared, write that down. A squared minus 7a minus ay plus 7y. If I go to the white screen, it'll show, y'all got it written down?
Mhm.
Okay. Now this will be all that shows on your thing, on your video, I think. I can't remember. He explained it to me Friday, but oh well. All right, what's the problem?
A squared minus 7a minus ay plus 7y.
Okay, the first indicator here, the flag that should be going up is what? 4 terms.
Parentheses around 2.
So it's either 3/1 or 2/2. Why do you say 2? Because you only got one perfect square. And as I told you in that section and on the videos that all of you at home have watched online, and I say that loosely because I get so many questions, emails from y'all, not this class, but just y'all students. When's the first test due? I don't know. Read your handouts, watch the video. I just don't understand. Anyway, I'll shut up. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this. A squared minus 7a plus minus ay plus 7y. The only thing I did here was I changed this to this, and that's just for housekeeping. Now I can group these two and these two and have a plus in the middle so I won't forget that you're adding. That's the only reason you do it. You don't have to do it, but some people do it. Okay, so I'm going to group these two and I'm going to group these two. And the reason I'm grouping 2/2 instead of 3/1 is I've only got one perfect square, and there it is. If I had 3 or 4 or 2 or 3, then I might want to think about a 3/1. So what's in common here? So we factor that out and we get an a minus 7. What's in common here? Y. We factor out a negative y. Why? Because this is positive, this is negative. We want this to be positive and this to be negative. So I'm going to factor out a negative y. And what does that leave? A minus 7. Do these two match? Is that supposed to happen? Yeah, pretty much. Unless it's prime or you're doing something totally wrong, these two are supposed to match. So you can do your pre-algebra, carry the label. They're supposed to match. Okay? So, these two are labels, and I'm going to go back to pre-algebra. 2x plus 3x, and you go 2 plus 3, and then x. So that's a little bit of review here. So I have to put review here. Somebody said, where do you get 2x from? Review, okay? So these two come down as a label. 2 boxes of cereal plus 3 boxes of cereal equals 5 boxes of cereal. You don't go 2x plus 3x is equal to 2x squared, or 5x squared, or whatever the case may be. If this is a label, this is a label, it comes down as a label. Here is your label. There's your boxes of cereal. This is your boxes of cereal. Label. And these are your coefficients. Now, since they are different from each other, you can't add them and get 5. But you can put them together and say A, what's plus a negative?
Negative.
So A minus Y, there's your coefficients. And then your label is A minus 7. And that's your final answer. A minus Y times A plus 7. And that's what they get. A minus Y times A minus 7. I disagree with the way that's written, but, you know, to each their own. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. It really doesn't matter, but I like to put my coefficients out front, and my coefficients is A minus Y. I don't like the way that's written. All right. Hopefully that'll help you out. Next one. I can't remember. I done got lost. That's this one right here. Okay. People are sending me stuff as we speak. Okay. All right. Yep. People are sending me stuff as we speak. So we've got 3 or 4 right here that I've got to do. So this is 5.6, 45, 13. 5.6, 45, 13. All right, 3a squared plus 2ab minus 21b squared. All right, we have a trinomial. So either reverse FOIL or we're going to use shortcuts, depends on what we get. Take a minute and start it off. No, I can't do that because then I can't draw them forward. So I'll just rewrite it for the online class. This will be 3a squared plus 2ab minus 21b squared. And I think we can factor out a common term. We can't factor out an a or a b because that wouldn't work unless you just want fractions. You could, but then you'd have all kind of messy fractions, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to factor out 3. Nope, can't factor out a 3 because of that 2. So it looks like we've got reverse FOIL. Well, I'll help y'all out. I'll do this one for you. 1a and 3a. There, I'll help you out. Now you do the rest of it. And that'll be 3 times 7 or 1 times 21. Well, I'm going to try 3 times 7 first. And the reason I'm going to try 3 times 7 first is because I know that 21 times 3 is going to be what? Too big. That's right. So I'm going to just stick with 3 times 7. So I'm going to put a 3 here and a 7 here. And that's my outside term and my inside term. 7 and 9. Well, 7 and 9 give us a 2. Yes. Now just add your b's here when you bring them down. So I'm going to just do, I'm going to go undo, 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 undo. So that'd be a 3 here, 3b, and a 7B here. Now what's bigger, 7A or 9A? 9A, so 9AB, sorry, so that'd be a plus. What does this mean, like or unlike? Unlike. So your final answer is A plus 3B times 3A minus 7B. And that's your final answer. Reverse FOIL. Pronounce it however you would like.
Will you please make sure to do my two problems?
I'm not gonna do them.
You're just.
I don't like you. Who said that? You?
Me.
Okay. I'll be glad to. Just make sure I do them, okay?
Getting
All right. Let me get out of this one. Next. Did I skip over them?
No, I just
Okay.
didn't want you to like move on and start 5-7
No,
without.
no. I'm gonna cover all the 5, 6, because that's where everybody's at right now in the class. Online's a little bit ahead of y'all, so that's fine. Let me get rid of this one. Okay, this is 5.6, 59/18. 59/18. Okay, another two-term polynomial. So that means we got a couple of flags. This one is 256 minus w to the 4th, p to the 4th. Now, flags. Two terms. That means we got to use a shortcut, or we're just going to factor out a common term. Because you can't use reverse FOIL on a two-term polynomial. So, two terms tell us that one is going to be a shortcut, or two, we've got to use FOCT. Don't pronounce that. All right? So, can't do anything with either one. Can't factor out a common term. So let's see if we can take the perfect square. I believe we can. Because I know this is a perfect square, isn't it? All right, so let's take the square root of both terms. Square root of this guy, square root of this guy. Now I know that 25 is, or I'm sorry, 15 is 225. I know that because I know my multiplication tables. If 15 is 225, what do you think the square root of 256 is? 16. So A is equal to 16. B is equal to W, or W, wherever you're from, W squared and P squared. So my shortcut number 3 tells us 16 plus W squared P squared times 16 minus W squared P squared. You ever notice how people pronounce W? Watch commercials, see how they pronounce W. WWW or WWW. All right, do we have another shortcut here?
Yes.
Yes.
Where?
16 negative.
Right here. There is no shortcut for this. So you should rewrite it. 16 plus WP squared times 16 minus W P plus, I'm sorry, I just didn't take the square root of 16. Let me just erase 16 and go with 4. And I like to put the pluses first. And then 4 minus WP. That's your final answer. Now, some of y'all are probably looking at these things and going, you know what, these things are getting easier and easier. Duh! What are you doing? Starts with a W. Working problems. What did I miss? did 15 problems while you were gone. And we had a test.
Well, you know what?
All right. Oh, I forgot to tell you, test is due yesterday, and you've got 10 minutes to take it.
Oh, man.
Okay?
Must be some quick cats.
I just thought I'd make everybody spaz by saying due date. Golly, I've never seen classes so worried about a due date. We have got procrastinators all over. I mean, just,
Online class is the worst. Like, I'm so scared I'm gonna forget something.
well, most of your teachers are cutthroat. I'm not. Okay? I've explained it to you in the syllabus, in the worksheets, and I explained it to you in the videos. When we get around the first of the month, and we're getting close, online classes, we're getting close. I have to say that out loud because when's due date? When's due date? When's due date? Okay? So, anyway, there's the answer to that. All right, anybody got a question on that? Hopefully you don't, because I'm not going to answer it.
If you hear me clicking back here, I'm trying to even.
Clicking?
I'm trying to load the problem.
Okay.
I can't even load it.
All right, that's that one. Wait until we get to 5. Well, there's number. This is 5.6 6419. 5.6 6419.
That was the one I sent you.
Is this yours?
I think I.
Oh, well, then I'm going to delete it then. All right.
This is a good one.
Yes, this is a test question.
Oh, no.
For the test that was due 2 days ago that y'all didn't know about because your teacher don't put up due dates. All right. The reason this I don't know about, let's see, 729. You might want to check. I'm gonna go to the whiteboard here, and I'm going to. Okay, let's forget this problem right now. Okay, I'm gonna go to another problem. All right. X to the 6 minus y to the 6. And you need to put this in your notes because algebra teachers love to put this problem on the test. The reason is you can do it by shortcut number 3, or you can do it by shortcut number 5, Hubert. That's right, class. You can do either one. All right? Why? How do you know that? Well, what do you do to exponents when you multiply them? You add them. So the cube root of x to the 6th is x what? X squared. The square root of x to the 6th is what? X cubed. So you can use on these type problems. Now I don't know about the problem that we're currently doing for homework, but it looks like to me you can. Somebody take the cube root of 7. I'll show you how to do that on a calculator because some of you don't know.
You know what, most of these problems, that's what you gotta find, square root of.
Yeah. That's why I told y'all all to learn your what?
Square root.
Duh.
See, after two lessons.
I play football.
I finally figure out.
Hey, something clicked! 2 or 3 days later, all right, the cube root of y to the 6th is y to the 2nd, and the square root of y to the 6th is what? Y to the 3rd. So, if you use shortcut number 3, you're going to take the square roots. If you use shortcut number 5, you're going to take the cube roots. So, let's go and do this problem. X to the 6th minus y to the 6th. And I'm going to use shortcut number 3. So I'm going to take the square root here and the square root there. And that'll give me x. What's the square root of x to the 6th? X to the 3rd. So that'll be x to the 3rd plus y to the 3rd times to the third minus what? Now what do we have?
The difference of.
Shortcuts number 4 and 5. And you do those. So this is shortcut number 4. And this is shortcut number 5. And that's going to give you x plus y times x squared minus xy plus y squared times x minus y times x plus x squared plus xy plus y squared. Shortcut number 4 gives you this. Shortcut number 5 gives you this. So I'll take a handy dandy highlighter and we'll color shortcut number 4. We'll color it right there. And shortcut number 5, there it is. And we'll take a mauve highlighter and we'll color shortcut number 3 right there. Okay? What? I know. Y'all pay extra for that. Y'all know that, don't you? When y'all took me, y'all paid extra to have, this color and animation. All right. And that's your answer. Now, that's using shortcut number 3 first. Well, what did we use shortcut number 5 first? Well, let's do that. X to the 6th minus y to the 6th. Well, I'm going to use shortcut number 5, which is the difference of two what? Cubes. So I got to take the cube root of this guy and the cube root of this guy. And that'll be x squared minus y squared times x to the 4th plus x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. Now I can't do anything with this, but what can I do with this guy? What can I do with that guy?
Difference two squares.
Shortcut number 3. Y'all are just on the ball. Shortcut number 3. And that's going to be x plus y, x minus y, times x to the 4th plus x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. Now, the first thing somebody's going to say is, well, the answer's different. Is it? Well, let's look. I've got x plus y, x minus y. Let's go back to the, do I have x plus y? Do I have x minus y? Okay, what does the other problem have? Well, let's look. Oops. An x to the 4th. Well, do I have an x to the 4th? What's x squared times x squared? X to the 4th. If you did all the multiplication with this, you would come out with this. Now, let's check and see if the problem that we had before us, right here, let's see. We know that b to the 6th, we know it's a perfect square or a perfect cube. But do 729. Let's check 729 because I know all of you have memorized your perfect cubes and perfect squares like I asked you to. Okay? But just check it. So take 729 in your calculator. 729, not 725. 729. And raise it to the 0.5 power. 0.5, that's half power. That means square root. And what do you get? How much? 27. Now take 729 and raise it to the 1/3 power, or 0.33333, what do you get?
9.
Huh? 9. So can you do this both ways? Yes, you can. So let's go ahead and do it. Now we know that the square root is 27. The cube root is 9. Remember that. Well, let's just move that up here. So frustrating sometimes. Okay, there. Hallelujah. Let's put that up here for safekeeping. And now let's do shortcut. This is v to the 6th minus 729. Let's do shortcut number 3 first. That's the square root here and the square root here. So a is equal to v to the what? 3rd. And b is equal to what? What's the square root? 27? So that's going to be v cubed plus 27 times v cubed minus 27. And what are these two guys? This is shortcut number 4, and this is shortcut number 5. So that's going to be v plus, what's the cube root of 27? Is it? No. V plus 3. V squared minus 3v plus 9. V minus 3. V squared plus 3v plus 9. Now, if you did shortcut number 3, then 4 and 5, that would be your answer. Now do it the other way. Do shortcut number 4. I meant number 5 first. And I'll switch. I'll give everybody a minute to write that down. Now let's do it with shortcut number 5 first. V to the 6 minus 729. Shortcut number 5 says I'm going to take the cube root of this and the cube root of this. The cube root of v to the 6 is v what? Squared. Plus, we said that the cube root of this was what? 9? Oh, it'd be a minus. No coughing in class. V minus squared, and then v to the 4th plus 9v squared plus 81. And then what is this? Shortcut number 3, which would be v plus 3 times v minus 3 times v to the 4th plus 9v squared plus 81. And there's your v plus 3 and your v minus 3, and there's your v to the 4th, which is v squared times v squared, which is, that's in the previous method right here. What's v squared times v squared? V to the 4th. Now, I don't know which method they will take. They may take both answers. I don't know. I haven't typed in both answers. But I'll type in 3, and let's see what they get. They did it shortcut number 3, then shortcuts 4 and 5. I think it will take both answers, but I'm not sure. So try it and let me know. But I will not mark it off on your test. I will not mark you wrong if you do both or one of the two. Either one's correct. Okay? Alrighty. Hope that helps you on that one. I feel like I'm doing these things over and over and over. Huh? Have I done this one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you just did.
Okay. That one's done. All right, let me get that one out of here. All right, this one is 5.66. Is that the same one? Okay. And this one is.
That's the same one.
Hey, gum, people.
I told you that was a good
Thank
one.
God that wasn't
Oh,
the
that's
same.
the one everybody sent in. Okay, okay. And that's 5.6. This is different. 7121. 7121. All right, take a second and work that one. This is 24 c to the fourth plus 375. 24 c to the fourth plus 375 c z to the third. Well, you're going to pull out a c. And I don't have any idea what's in. I think something's in common with 24 and 375. I have no idea what. Because I still want to get a perfect square out of this thing. So, you know, divide by 3.
Three.
Okay, so 3c. And that'll leave you with what? 8c to the third. There's a perfect cube. Plus,
125.
thank you, z to the third. There's another perfect cube. Look at there. Shortcut number 4, Hubert. That's right, class. Because you all know your perfect squares, because that's the second thing I told you to learn. I mean, your 5 shortcuts. First thing you got to learn is your perfect squares, perfect cubes. Second thing you got to learn is your shortcuts. Then after you memorize those 3 things, then you should be able to work the problems. What's the cube root of 8c cubed? What's the cube root of 125z to the third?
I see.
No, it should be squared. Sorry. And that should be your final answer. Oh, I made a mistake. Right here. It's supposed to be a minus right there. See, I was waiting on the lecture class to bring that out, but oh well, I had to catch it myself. They're still awake. They're still asleep. Everybody feel good about themselves?
Will you go back and tell me where when you first write the 3c times the 2c plus 5z? I'm confused on how you're getting that first parentheses. And
This right here.
Yes.
Recite to me shortcut number 4. No, don't look at your paper. Recite it.
I'm not there.
Say it one more time.
I'm not there.
You're not there yet. So you haven't done the second thing. I'm not trying to embarrass you.
Okay.
That's why you have to know them. You have to memorize them, therefore you know where it comes from. the shortcut says A, well, I hope it says A cubed plus B cubed, or A cubed minus B cubed, this is plus, is equal to A plus B, parentheses, A squared minus AB plus B squared. There it is. So what's the cube root here? What's the cube root of 8c cubed? 2c. So A here, A is equal to 2c. What's B? What's the cube root of this? 5z. So what do you do with 2c and 5c? What do you do with them? See it?
Yeah. I got the second part, I just didn't get the first.
Yeah. Just plug and chug. But see, do you see what I'm saying? If you don't know the shortcuts verbatim, if you don't know them by memory, then it's going to be hard to understand what this is right here. And if you don't know the cubes, you got to know the cubes and the square root, so you know which ones to use. You've got that. You just need to memorize this. And just remember, when you take the cube root of this, you've got A. When you take the cube root of this, you've got what? B. And you plug and chug. And the faster you get with these, the better off you are. Of course, I still got some people saying, well, can I use the reverse FOIL? No. Cannot. That's the same one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. 85/22.
We're still on 5, 6, right?
Yep. No, we're on 11.2. We already had 2 tests. You didn't get the due date? Due date! Due date! C to the third minus 16c squared minus 4c plus 64.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm off the clock. What?
I know last time you had took some of the homework problems and added into the test.
Did what?
You know, some of the problems from our tests had, some of the problems from the homework. Is that possible? When is time?
Are you asking if I take homework problems and put it on the test?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. I point and click. I drag and click. Yeah.
That's even better.
But on yours, I'm going to make up new problems, Miss Wilson. All right, first of all, do we have a lot of perfect squares? We got 2. So I would probably say do a 2 by 2. I don't think there's enough to do a 3 by 1. So I'm going to group the first 2 and the last 2. C to the third minus 16c squared plus or minus 4c plus 64. Group the first 2 and the last 2. What's in common with the first 2?
C to the second.
C to the second, that leaves you with C minus what?
16.
Factor out a -4, and what does that leave you? C minus 16, Hubert, that's right. So your final answer is, or not the final answer, but that will bring you C squared minus 4 times C minus 16. Remember, these 2 guys right here, do you do anything with them, or do they just come down? They just come down. There it is, right there. You don't get fancy. You don't do anything. You just bring them down. What about this guy? C squared minus 4. What can we do with C squared minus 4?
The difference of 2 squares.
Difference of two squares, exactly. And I'll highlight that. This right here is the difference of two squares. Shortcut number 3, so your final answer is C plus 2, C minus 2 times C minus 16. That's your final answer. Miss Doug, is she distracting you? I can
No.
call security if you want me to.
Also,
I think she's a sweetheart. You pick on
No,
her way
she
too
is,
much.
she is trouble. C plus 2, C minus 2 times C minus 16. Golly, look there. We got it right.
That's my nickname.
What? Bad? All right. Let's do something else. We gotta hurry up. I gotta get out of this section. All right, that's that one.
5.7 is like,
5.7 is just a conglomeration.
it's just a bunch of zeros.
Yeah. 5.6, 85/22. Do we do that one?
Yeah.
Okay. 5.7, 27.5. I think we've done that one. Huh?
That's 5.7.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, we're gonna
That's
stop there. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna look at these. 5.4, 5.4, 5.4, 5.4. Okay, let's go over these 5.4s right quick. That's not even supposed to be there. And here we go. That's not supposed to be there. These are all, why are they, I must have something set up right. These are not the right problems. These go somewhere else. Okay, now, 5.7. I'm going to look at a couple of these, but we need to move on to 6.1. So 5.7, 27/5. 5.7, 27/5. Okay, this is nothing. We've been dealing with expressions. Let me go to a white page. This is what we've been dealing with so far in 5.6. This is what y'all been dealing with. X squared minus 4. Okay? These are what we call what? Expressions. The only thing you can do with an expression is simplify or expand. That's the only thing you can do with an expression. And what is there not? There is no equal sign. Okay, so there is no solving. You cannot solve an expression. The only thing you can do to an expression is simplify or expand it, factor it, or multiply it. That's the only thing you can do with an expression. Now we're going to add an equal sign to it, and it becomes a what? Equation. Equal means equation. Equation you can solve. And it has an equal sign. So, what do you do different? Well, nothing. You just factor it and then you solve. So let's take, for example, this problem I'm just doing. X squared minus 4 is equal to 0. Now you know back from your pre-algebra and algebra 1 days that you have one objective of algebra. And that is to get the variable what? By itself. So how do you get the variable by itself? The negative 4 is a pain in the butt. So you need to do what with the negative 4?
Add it to both.
Move it. Get it to the other side, or take it across the river, or add a positive 4 on both sides. Whatever you were taught, do it. So that will give us x squared is equal to what? 4. Now how do you get x by itself when it's raised to the second power? Take the square root. Anytime you got something squared, you take the square root. Anytime you got something cubed, you take the cube root. Anytime you take something to the fourth power, you take the fourth root. You get the picture? Okay? So if I want to find something squared, I take the square root of it. X is equal to positive or negative what? 2. The reason we have this positive or negative, highlighter time. The reason we have this positive and negative right here is why? Negative 2 times negative 2 is equal to what?
4.
And positive 2 times positive 2 is equal to what? So your possible answers is positive 2 or what? Negative 2. Very, very important, because that, and later on in college algebra, which hopefully some of y'all are going to be taking from me next semester, that is your x-intercepts. How many x-intercepts does a parabola have? Let's see. How many x-intercepts does a parabola have? 2. How many solutions do we have here? 2. A positive and a negative. Negative and positive. And that's what you're going to be finding in college algebra and in the end of this class. All right, so what's the problem we were doing? X what?
C squared negative 9c
Okay.
equals 0.
C what?
C squared negative 9c.
Okay, we'll just sit here and wait, because it's not that, because that is on a different system. We'll just sit here and that's still running. Okay, always great to have a system crash or, oh, that's nice.
Fancy.
How did I do that? Ms. Wilson, what did you do?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, give it to me one more time. C squared what?
Negative 9c.
Negative 9c. If you're going to laugh at my mouse writing, then come up here and do it.
Equals 0.
Equals 0. If somebody's going to make fun of my mouse writing, come up here and you write with the mouse and see how easy it is.
I'm left-handed, so that's a struggle for me.
Okay.
anyway.
All right. So, what's your rules for factoring a binomial, two-term polynomial? What's your flags? There's 2 of them. One is factor out a common term, and the second thing is shortcut number what? 3, or number 4 or 5, depending on if you have the cubes or not. So, what can I do with this guy?
Factor out of c.
Factor out a C. I don't think. Well, this is a good thing. Believe it or not, this is a good thing. Because now I can tell IT that something is wrong with this computer, and that's why it's crashing last week. It's not that thing, it's not that software, it's this, because my pen has quit working. And we all know whose fault it is. Whose fault is it?
Ms. Wilson?
No. Besides that, Bush. It's Bush's fault. Okay. Now, if I have something equal to 0, then that means one of the 2 factors, or one of the 2 things that equals 0 has to be what? 0. 2 times 0 is equal to 0. 0 times 2 is equal to 0. One of them has to be 0. So I'm going to set C. I don't know what has happened. Something has disabled this pen. Okay, I'll just have to finish out with my mouse. It's going to be very slow. C is equal to 0, or C minus 9, is equal to 0. So one possibility is C equal to 0. The other possibility is C is equal to what? 9. And there is your two possible answers. So let's plug it in. Let's see what happens when you plug in 0. 0 times negative 9 is equal to what?
0.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What about 9? 9 times 0 is equal to what? So yes, it is true. And that's how you do those type problems in 5.7. So let's do a nerd. And that's the answer right there. So that's this one. 5.733/6. 5.733/6. Set it equal to 0. So that means the 64 is going to have to come where? To the left. So move it over and then you'll have a 0 on the right hand side. Get used to doing this because, let me try something right quick. I am so glad this did this. Because, yep, this is what it was doing last week, wasn't it? Yes, Hubert, thank you, class. Remember, I couldn't get it to work after it crashed. Y'all remember that? Huh? This means yes, this means no.
Yes.
Yes, I thought y'all did. Okay, now I can call them and say, y'all need to get up here and fix this daggone computer. Yes, sir.
Is the pen battery powered?
Huh?
Is the pen
No,
battery powered?
it's not battery powered. It's just a stylus. No, they've already checked the pins. These are 2 new pins. So I don't know what's up with it. I'll just have to keep writing because I'm not going to redo this video. I'm sorry. All right, 64. You want to get up here and write? Miss Chuckles. Minus 64 is equal to 0. All right, what's the flag? We got 2 terms. What are you going to do? Factor out a common term. What's in common?
64.
So you factor that out. And then you're left with c squared minus 1 is equal to 0. And then you're going to set 64 equal to 0 and c squared minus 1 equal to 0. Well, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this problem?
There's a difference of 2 squares.
No, this right here. That's 64 can never equal what?
0.
All right, now make a note of this. You need to take your highlighter out and you need to highlight this guy right here. Because that's going to happen a good bit in some of your algebra problems. When you factor out something and it's set equal to 0 and you get 104 is equal to 0 or negative 5 is equal to 0, just go ahead and cross it out because it can't happen. It's a way of getting rid of some of your fat. You know how like some people, I don't know why, but some people, like when they get a steak, they trim off the fat. That's ridiculous. You're supposed to eat it. That gives it flavor. Duh. Anyway, that's what you're doing. You're trimming off that part because that really doesn't help you. C squared is equal to what? Well, C is equal to plus or minus 1 is your final answer, yes. So C squared, C squared is equal to positive 1. Take the square root of both sides. C is equal to positive or negative 1. And that's your final answer. So, the only problem with this answer up here is 64 cannot be an answer because 64 is not equal to what? 0. Look at that. We are on fire. Y'all are saying to yourself, God, this stuff is easy. All right, 5.743/9. 5.743/9. Solve by factoring and using principle of 0. I would say the best thing to do is use your FOIL method, bring the 8 over, combine, then refactor. That's what I would do. So that would give you x squared plus 3x minus 10, right? X squared plus 3x minus 10. Do that on the left-hand side. X squared plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 8. And what am I going to do with that 8?
Bring it over.
Bring it over and combine with that negative, that'd be what, negative 18? Because when you bring it over, it becomes a what?
Negative.
So x squared plus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0. Dang old 6 times 3 maybe. Now use your reverse FOIL. Three and 6. What kind of 3 do we need in the middle right here?
Negative.
This one's, it should be positive. We need positive 3. So what's bigger, 6 or 3?
6.
So it's positive. And what does this mean, like or unlike?
Like.
Unlike, so what's the unlike of positive 6? Negative. And x minus 3 is equal to 0. And x plus 6 is equal to 0. What's our final answers? 3 and what?
Negative 6.
That should be your answer. There you go. So you see that this section is not difficult, it's just a continuation of what you were doing in 5.6. 43, delete. 55/11. 55/11. Okay? Now, they're wanting you to find the x-intercepts. I want you to find them algebraically using the reverse FOIL, and then we'll match it up with the graph. Oh, excuse me. So using the reverse FOIL, you get an x here and an x here. And what? 1 times 5? A lot of people say, well, how are you sure it's 1 times 5? Well, 5 is what number? Prime number, Hubert. That's right. You can't mess a prime number up. Some of y'all can, but most of you cannot mess the prime number up. Let's see, that's 0.333 times, yeah, whatever. Okay, so what do we need? We need a -4. So that means the 5 has to be what?
Negative.
And what is this, like or unlike? To get a negative when you multiply, it means
Unlike.
unlike, so that would be a positive. X minus 1 is equal to 0. I'm sorry, that would be -1. And what's the other answer? Okay, well, I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and I'm going to color the 1, I'm going to color it yellow, or yellow, depending on where you're from. And the 5, I'm going to color verde. And then I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter and make a small, say again,
Said you sound like all the people at the back at work.
at the back. There's that. Where you work?
Chick-fil-A. I speak Spanish more than I speak English at work,
Well, again, welcome to the real world.
right?
I'm trying to figure out, and the yellow, there's my x-intercept right there. And that's what you just found. You just found your x-intercept.
So really, I could have just looked at the graph.
Yeah, but it was asking you, you know, if you knew what the x-intercepts were, but it doesn't say. It says solution is x, and most people don't know what that means. This right here means, what are the x-intercepts? That's what it means. They can't ask for the x-intercepts. They just, the solutions is /r, x is equal to. They can't just say, what are the x-intercepts? That would be too simple.
Of course.
Okay? And hold your pinky up, because that's what they like to do, talk about math. All right, that's 55. 57/12. All right, I'm gonna let y'all write this one down. Negative x squared minus 3x plus 10 is equal to 0. Now, what did I tell y'all a while back about a negative x squared? Did I tell you we wanted that, or we don't want that? You don't want that. So, you need to do something and get that negative x squared. You need to get that in a positive. So, you need to do something. Factor out of what?
Negative.
A -1. Yes. Do that. Mrs. Ugg, when's class over?
12:20.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to leave a little earlier because I have work.
See, and you wonder why you can't pass. You wonder why you can't pass.
There's also an important point.
Why are you so worried about work? Your priorities should be
Cause I have to.
math first.
Work the 10
Work, no. Work, we don't need to work.
Unless I
The
say-
society, our society today is don't work and get paid.
Let me ask you a question. If I send my bill to you, you make sure the bill get paid?
I'm gonna be quiet because I could say a bunch of things right now.
I also have to.
You need to
work
get
for
Obama to
a
look
few
you up.
minutes.
What?
I need to-
I might have to step out in a few minutes to make a phone call, but,
That's fine.
okay.
What number are we on?
I'm sorry, what?
What number are we on?
Oh, let me just repeat myself. Okay, hold on.
Please and thank you.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
5, 7,
I don't know what I'm doing.
12.
5.7, 57/12. Thank you. 5.7, 57/12. Factor out a negative. And see what you get.
Did you post your available time on the door yet?
I put it in Starfish. You can go on Starfish and look. I don't post it on my door because half y'all don't even look. Half y'all don't even come up to my office. That's what gets me. When you gonna post your office hours? They're on the door. Oh, okay.
Do you get little starfishes too for like the steps that you take?
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Because Miss Van Huss said yesterday, she's like, yeah, you were the first appointment that I had on Starfish, so I have another one in the mail.
I
And
got
was like,
three. I got 3 Starfish. I got a gold, silver, and a bronze one. But they're not
Is it
real.
like-
They're not real. Huh?
Is it like
Little-
steps of,
Yeah, they actually, I like Starfish because you can communicate with students a whole lot better than through Banner. Banner was terrible. Banner is like a big, gigantic freight ship. I mean, it is. It's good for what it's supposed to do and has to keep your records, but it's not like the little speedboat that you can go to shore back and forth. It's not. And Starfish is that little speedboat. I can do things with y'all. I can do advising. I can do appointments. I can do office hours. I can send y'all's emails, all that good stuff.
I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you go through Blackboard mail?
I don't like Blackboard. I've never have used it.
Really?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, online students. I do not use Blackboard.
You can't get on.
Negative. And that'd be x squared plus 3x plus or minus 10 is equal to 0. Now, this is a what out here? Negative what?
1.
So you can say, okay, this is odd. My son is calling me. He's 5 years old. Hold on just a second. Hello. What are you doing, boy? Are you in school? Are you in school? Why not? Okay, well, let me call you back. I'm in class. Okay, bye-bye. He's supposed to be in school.
Done learn how to play hooky at 5.
Hmm?
He's done learned how to play hooky at 5.
No, I don't know why he's not in school. Okay, I don't know, did the school let out today?
It was like an awards day, and, I mean, you could pick your kid up early.
That's what it was, okay,
But
that's what it was, okay. I gave him I bought me a new keyboard for my phone, because my thumbs are too big, and when I'm writing emails, oh my gosh, it's awful. You know, when y'all send me an email and it comes in, forget it. I gotta do a long explanation. I use this. Anyway, and I gave him my old one. My old one is it's like out to here, and it's missing a key. And he wanted it, so I gave it to him, and he can't get it to work with his phone, and he's about driving me crazy. All right, sorry about that. He's 7, not 5. All right, so this -1 is going to be equal to 0. Can negative 1 equal 0? Yes or no?
No.
So mark it out. Just go ahead and take your pen and mark that out because it's not going to help you. So mark that out. Mark that out. And now you've got x squared plus 3x minus 10. So use your reverse FOIL. And we all know that's 2 and 5, isn't it? Some of y'all are saying, hey, I saw that before I even started. Yeah, see what working does? Be a positive and a minus. So what's our 2x intercept? And I'm not gonna finish the answer. I'm just gonna draw it. So I'm gonna take my handy dandy highlighter and I'm gonna mark this one yellow, and that's gonna be what? -5. So that's gonna be this guy. Oh Lord, now, that threw me off a little bit. Okay, and green will be this guy. And what's x minus 2 is equal to 0? What does that come out to be? 2. And that's your green. Sorry. Y'all just have to bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. There you go. And you feel good about yourself.
No.
So you don't, you don't?
Actually, it's 2 and negative 5.
That's what I just said. X minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to 2. And there it is.
You got a negative 2, it's negative 5.
I told you I wasn't going to finish it. Okay, let me finish it. X minus 2 is equal to 0. Some people just don't listen. I just don't understand
Look
it.
here now, I'm back here trying to,
You're trying to write and listen at the same time, but you're a woman. You can do that. You can multitask and do everything correctly. It's us men that can't do it. X plus 5 is equal to 5, 0, and that's equal to what?
Would you mark off the test, if you left your solution as the highlighted answer, or not the highlighted answer above, but like you leave your
If
work
you were
like
trying to
that?
find this, I would take this, yes.
Okay.
But it all depends on what they're asking. They're probably gonna ask this, which is this right here. Miss Wilson, you see that? Negative 5 and positive 2.
yeah. I just wanted to clarify so, nobody don't get the wrong.
I understand. You're looking out for everybody, aren't you?
I sure am, always.
All right.
See, she's not all trouble.
She is, you just don't know her. Called me up one morning, she was drunk, couldn't get out of the car, and all kinds of stuff.
You need to stop.
No, she just had a flat tire. She was in the ditch or something like that, I can't remember. Okay. I don't think we're ever gonna get to 6.1. Let's see how far are we. I'm gonna move on.
I know
Okay.
number 13 for real was a struggle.
Number 13,
Yeah, because it's set equal to y.
where?
On
Yeah.
5.713.
Go up one.
Oh, this
That
one?
one.
All right, let me do that one, and then we're gonna move on to 6.1, because I got some things I need to cover. All right. Find the x-intercepts, okay? Go back to your algebra skills. If you want to find your x-intercepts, what do you plug in for y? 0. So put you in the 0, that's it.
Nice.
And now you back to square one with 6 and 5. Negative 6, positive 5. Your answer is 6 and 5. And you feel good about yourself. So you don't have to put some mistakes on your big truck. And jack it up 15 feet in the air.
Could you blow that up a little bit?
Yes, Dave. Miss Wilson. Make sure you back up a little bit more. You're on the back row, but I think you can back up another 6 or 8 feet. Maybe that'll help you see it. Yes, ma'am.
So would 0 be one of the answers?
No. What? When you get to quadratics, and you get this, next time there may be an f of x here. F of x is equal to something. That's y.
Okay.
And what they're telling you is, when you want to find the x-intercept, what do you plug in for y? 0. So you put a 0 in right here. And you do it just like you've been doing. The answer is 6 and negative 5. Now, I don't know if they want it this way. It says type an order pair. So yes, you got to plug in 0 for y. Okay, we're going to move on. And I want to cover some things in 6.1 and 6.2. And of course, I can't write. This is really frustrating because let me do, no, I can't do that either. I don't know why it's still not right. Okay. Let me go here. 6.1. These are called rational expressions. Rational expressions I bet it's still not gonna write. Nope.
Can you use your dry erase markers?
Yeah, not on this. I'll have to move over there. I don't have any. See if I got my stash down here. Yep. Okay, because of technical difficulties, we're moving over here. All right. A rational expression is going to look like this. Make sure y'all can see. I'll have to zoom it out. X squared plus 4x plus 4 over x plus 2. That is a rational expression. You need to write it down because you're going to get rational expressions and you're going to have rational equations. Now somebody tell me what's another word for this conglomeration right here? What's another word for it?
Fraction.
Fraction. There's one thing you can't have in a fraction. What is that?
Zero.
That's it. Write that down. This is a rational expression. It's also called a fraction. And there's one thing in fractions you can't have. You cannot have a 0 in the denominator. And you need to highlight this because this is going to play in a lot. This is going to have an effect in your test because there's going to be problems where you have to find out what will mess up the problem. This right here will make the equation blow up. Now, blow up is a term that I have heard my professors at Clemson say, and that means basically it will make the function not work. All right? Now, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to erase this, and we're going to go back to pre-algebra, and we're going to look at some properties of fractions. So go ahead and make sure everybody writes that down. I hope everybody's got it. Let's, I got to find my eraser since I never used it. So we're going to go back to pre-algebra and we're going to review some things. 1. Can I reduce a fraction horizontally, like 2/4? Yes or no? Yes. I can say 2 will go in there 1 time, 2 will go in there 2 times, so that's equal to 1/2. And you should be able to do that. How about 2? And that's called reducing. And leave kind of the half a page over here on your paper. Leave it because we're going to do some more stuff over here. That's called reducing. How about multiplying? One half times 4/3. What can we do there? Well, we can go straight across and reduce, or what can we do? We can reduce and then go straight across, right? So 2 will go in there 1 time, 2 will go in there 2 times, then 2/3, right? If I remember how to reduce diagonally and vertically. So everybody good with that? And how about adding or subtracting? What do you got to have in order to add or subtract? You got to have a what? Common denominator. I'm going to put a plus and a minus right here because it's with addition and subtraction. You got to have a common denominator. And if you don't have a common denominator, you gotta what? Quit or find one? Find one. 1/3 plus 2/5. Well, that's going to be 15. That's going to be a 15. And then 3 will go into 15. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 will go into 15. 3 times 2 is 6. And 11/15 is your answer. Now, does everybody remember that stuff? I hope so. Because look over here. I'm going to do these in green. X squared plus x, over 2x. Okay, look at that problem. X squared plus x over 2x. Now, is there anything we can do in the numerator? What? Factor out a common term. Now, what can we do now?
Nothing.
Yeah, we can.
Get rid of the
Excess.
X is, what do they do? X over x is what?
1.
1. So they cancel. You're left with x plus 1 over 2. What did we just do to this problem? We reduced it. All I'm doing is taking 6.1 and I'm relating it back to your pre-algebra days. So that way y'all won't go, huh? All right, let's do another one. X plus 3 quantity squared over x times x to the third over x plus 3. And we are multiplying. So what can we do?
cancel the x.
The x can cancel with what?
1.
This up here. This is to the first. So x will go into x one time. X will go into x to the third. How many times? X squared times, Hubert. And what about these two? Will they cancel?
Yes.
Yes, this is to the first power. X plus 3 will go into x plus 3 one time. X plus 3 will go into x plus 3 squared. X plus 3 to the first power. So what's our final answer? X squared times x plus 3 over 1 times 1 is what? 1. Which is that right there. Now, I don't expect you to know how to do this right off the bat. What I'm trying to do is tell you that these two, by principle, are they the same? Yes, they're the same. You cancel diagonally and you cancel vertically. In this case, you're just canceling diagonally. All right, let's do one of these. X over x plus 1 plus 3 over x plus 1. What's the answer? Yes, sir.
I have a question on the last one.
Uh-huh.
For the answer, do we need to distribute the x?
No. You can. I won't mark it wrong. You can do either one. It'd be x to the third plus 3x squared. I'll take either answer. All right, what about here?
3x over x plus 1.
Well, x plus 3 is what? X plus 3 over what? X plus 1. Now, this leads us to the question, why can't the x's cancel? When you are single, all right, everybody, I don't know who's single in here, who's not. Can you date other people?
Yes,
Pretty much. You can. What are you married?
yes.
Be quiet, Mr. Wilson. All right? When. Oh. Okay. In theory, Mrs. Wilson, if you are married, can you date other people?
No.
No, you cannot. All right? Unless you're in some kind of open relationship, but that doesn't count as marriage, okay, in this scenario. All right? So, if you're single, if you're right here, if you're single by yourself, and you're single by yourself here, this is not married, okay? They can cancel. All right? If you're single, you can cancel. If you're married, you can't cancel. These guys married? Yes. Are these guys married? They can't cancel. Remember that. X plus and X minus. If you got an X plus or an X minus, you cannot cancel like you can with multiplication. And remember that because that'll get you on a test. That will get you on a test. Somebody will try to take out those X's. I'm not going to go to this one right now because we got to build up to this. Because y'all will crash and burn if I go into it right now. So let's work a couple of examples. Now that we've started, this is actually 6.1 and 6.2. I'm going to put a problem on the board, and I want you to work it. This is simplification, reducing. Here we go. Oops, I got to switch back over now. Sorry. Mm-hmm. X squared, sorry, sometimes this mouse won't work, minus 2x minus 8 over x minus 4. All right? I want you to do what you can. Now, remember, when you're dealing with these guys, trinomials are worthless unless you do what to them? Factor them. Always remember that. When you're dealing with these type problems, trinomials are worthless unless you factor them. Using the reverse FOIL. So go ahead and use your reverse FOIL and see if you can get something to reduce. So that will break up into parentheses, x, that's what, 2 and 4? We need a negative 2, so that means the 4 has to be negative. What does this mean?
Different.
Over x minus 4. And what happens to the x minus 4s?
Cancel out.
They cancel. And what's your final answer? And you have just reduced
Is it x minus 2 or x plus 2?
x plus 2. Thank you. I was just making sure y'all were waiting. Okay? X plus 2. Now this is a basic rational expression. If I was to give you a test on chapter 6, this would be probably 10% of your test. I'm going to give you a couple of these and that's going to be it. But in order to add or subtract or multiply and divide fractions or rational expressions, whatever you want to call them, you have to be able to do this, especially with multiplication and division. Oops, I forgot division, but we'll go over that when we get there, okay? Let's try and narrow. X squared plus 8x plus 16 over x plus 4. Should you be using the reverse FOIL or should you be using the shortcuts? Shortcuts, Hubert. That's right, class. You should be using the shortcuts. Reverse FOIL will take too much time in this problem. Yes, sir.
I have this excuse.
Oh, go right ahead. You don't have to ask, just go. You need to go.
Thank you, this is an important phone call.
Yep. So what is the top? Shortcut number one, Hubert. That's right, class. X plus 4, quantity what? Squared over, that's awful. I should type it, but, oh, excuse me. I should type it, but take too long. X plus 4. And go, why don't you just start it over? Well, I'm recording this presentation. So you're going to get 2 files. One you're going to get as attachment. The other one, I guess I could put both of them. Yeah, I could put both of them on YouTube. One is just going to show the thing right here, the pen, and me talking. It's not going to, you're not going to see me at all. And the other one is going to be what we see in classroom. So that's why I can't start this over, because then this will be messed up. And I don't want to do that. All right, what will happen? Well, this is to the first power, and this is to the second power. What do we do if the bases are the same and we divide exponents? What do you do? Subtract. And what's 2 minus 1? So x to the 4th, x plus 4 to the first power is your answer, or x plus 4 is your answer. Or you can cancel. If you want to cancel, you can do that. And that'll be to the first power. Now that's the first part of chapter 6. The second part of chapter 6, 6.2, or the second section, is what is the denominator? What does the denominator can't equal? What can it not equal? Well, it can't equal 0. Well, what numbers will give you 0? Well, you set denominator equal to what? And solve. So in this case, 6.2, x plus 4 is equal to 0. X is equal to what?
-4.
So what number can I not use in my equation? I cannot use -4 in this equation. If I use -4, I'm going to get a 0 in the denominator and the function is going to blow up. So my domain is all real numbers except x cannot equal what? Negative what? So your domain is affected when you're using a rational expression. Mrs. Love, when's class over? 12 what?
20.
Okay. Now you said you knew somebody that knew me, and somebody else said they knew somebody. Who's that?
Chris Hope.
Who?
Chris Hope.
Chris Hope. One of my students.
No.
Male or female?
Male.
How does he know me?
I don't know, he's been around Anderson a long time. He says he thinks he knows you. I think he's almost 40. Drives a big white truck.
I know someone that knows me.
Who's that?
No smokestack. No smokestack.
Well, that's a good one.
Polly K.
Who?
Polly K. She's the department head of the MLT program.
Oh yeah, Polly. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love her and her husband both. I don't know Mr. Hope though.
Do you know Tricia Keithley that works at Kia of Anderson right up the road?
Do I know her? I do?
No, do you? That's what I
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't know Mr. Hope. I probably know of him if I see him. I don't know, but are you leaving too?
Yes, don't mark me after though.
I'm gonna mark you. I'm gonna cut you out of the class.
Well, I was asking if you knew Tricia Keithley.
What
I
is
wanted
your
to get ready
history
for-
with her?
No, I was just asking if you knew, because that's where I'm going, is to her daughter's funeral today, so I was
Oh,
wondering
my.
if you knew her.
Oh my. Golly, everybody's leaving. I'm gonna give a test right now.
I told you the first of class.
No, I'm gonna give a test. Due date is yesterday. All right, work on 6.1 and 6.2.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at some of the homework problems in 6.1 and 6.2 that y'all have sent in. I don't know if y'all sent any or not, but I think y'all have.
This homework makes me wanna like scream.
Why?
It's like, you have 3 chances, and the first 2 you get them wrong, and then the last one you're like,
I need to change that, because I don't like it being just 3 chances.
well, on the one that I just sent you, it marked it wrong, but it was only because I had I had the exact same thing that it said, but it was in a different order.
And plus, once it shows you how to do it differently from how you show us.
Okay, let me pull it up. Hold
That's
on.
my struggle.
6.1. Okay, let's just start with this one. 6.1, 13, number 2. 6.1, 13, number 2. I'll fix it. Just, if you remind me after class to fix it, I'll fix it. All right, let's do this one. They want you to reduce. W minus 1 over 8W minus 8. Now, there's only one thing you can do, and that's what? Factor out a common term. You can't factor out a common term at the top, so just write it down as W minus 1 over 8 times W minus 1. And what happens to the W minus 1?
Goes away.
And that's equal to 1/8. Now, they also want to ask what's the number that you can't use. So 8 W minus 1 is equal to what? 0, because that's in the denominator. 8 cannot equal 0, so it goes out. And W minus 1 is equal to 0. What's the answer? 1. So I can use any number in this expression, but I cannot use the number 1. Because if I use the number 1, what's 8 times 1? What's 8 minus 8?
0.
Function blows up because it can't work with a 0 in the denominator. So you cannot use number 1. Capiche? Let's do nerd. 19, number 4. Alright, they just want you, now when you see these directions, remove by removing, simplify by removing factors 1, this is a 25-cent word for reduce. You're not finding what gives you 0. That's not what, they're not asking you that. They're asking you to reduce. Is today Wednesday?
Yes.
All right. So, this one, you can factor out, these both end in 5s, so you can factor out something 5, 25 or 5, something. Which one do you factor out here? Well, these two will cancel, or you can factor out a w squared and then cancel out, or whatever. These two will cancel, and that'll leave a w squared, and these two will cancel, leave a y to the 5th. So I'm not really too concerned about the 1875, so this is what I'm going to do. And this is what you need to do when you come up to a problem like this. Break it up into 3 problems. 18, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, I can't write with this, I'm going to have to do something different. Hold on. Well, I thought, this thing not. No, I don't want to do that either. Let me just do this. 1875 divided by 45. Now, I'm not too concerned with that one. Y'all can do that one because y'all are good students and y'all can do that. The w to the 4th, w to the 4th divided by w squared. That's the second part. And then the third part is what? Y to the 7th divided by y squared. All right, now all of these are part of the problem, but the reason I broke it up is because some of you can handle it when you're doing these problems for the first time. It's easier if you break it up into these 3. Now, somebody divide 1875 by 45 in your calculator. You come out with the whole number or what?
No.
All right.